Today is a great day to be a tropical fruit farmer. I am standing in front of these 4 magnificent mango trees. And as you could see behind me, they are in full bloom. I know how much you love tropical fruit, and I wish you could be standing right here with me right now so that you could smell what I smell. Oh, mango flowers is one of the greatest smell on earth, and it means you are only months away from eating one of the greatest fruits on earth, the mango. And today I'm going to tell you about my mango collection. This section of my property right here is where I have my mature mango trees. These guys are over 30 years old. That one's probably 40 feet high, that kit right there. But let's start out with this Ford mango. Now, the Ford mango is probably a mango you never heard of. You don't see them in markets. You don't see them at farmers markets. It's because this variety mango grows to 5 pounds. It's more like a melon than a mango. And because it grows so big, it's not ripe and ready until the month of September, whereas most other mangoes are ready in June, July. So commercial growers don't really want to have a crop that's 60, 90 days behind the rest of the crop. It's more costly, and they also don't want to have big, heavy fruit on the trees into hurricane season. So while it's not a very viable commercial crop, it makes a great backyard crop. And these 5-pound mangoes are delicious. They come in, like I said, in the month of September. So when all the other mangoes are done, I still have a whole tree worth of mangoes to eat. And they're really pretty and colorful. They have a nice red-green coloration, and the flesh on the inside is bright orange. And when you cut one of these open and bite into it, it just makes your day. And because it's 5 pounds, it's the only mango I will share with someone. Next, I'm going to tell you about the second tree here, which is a Tommy Atkins. It's actually my neighbor's tree, not mine. But before I do that, I got a phone call as I'm filming here. One of our subscribers is like, hey man, you take visitors, we're in the neighborhood. So they're just kind of pulling in. All right, this is Vince and this is Mike, and they just dropped by. So I'm going to take a little break from the mango video and hang out with these guys for a little bit. We'll see you when I get back. There they go. I just had a great visit with some great people. Mike and Vince, thanks for coming by. Where were we? Ah, yes, I was just wrapping up telling you about this Ford variety mango. And much like the Ford, this kit variety here, K-E-I-T-T, you're also not going to see a lot of kits in the supermarket or at farmers markets and stuff like that. Now with the Ford, it's because they grow too big and they grow too late into the season, and farmers don't want to have mangoes on the tree till September. It just doesn't make a lot of sense financially. The kit, on the other hand, you won't see a lot of those grown commercially because they're considered a dirty mango. They get like a fungus on them. They get like black striping. If you come back in July, I'll do a video. I'll do like a little taste test on them, but they get like some black striping on the skin. So they're not very visually appealing like a lot of mangoes tend to be. But oh my God, are they delicious. And look at this tree behind me. I mean, look up there at those flowers. This thing is just loaded with flowers. Let's go take a closer look. Look. Oop. I got some here. Look, I got some new bloom coming in. You see these flowers here? And then we've got open flowers that are getting pollinated. We got all kinds of insect activity and stuff happening here, and oh, does it smell so good. You know, while I'm here next to this star fruit tree, this carambola, take a little bite of this sucker. Oh, that is good. Like I said earlier, today is a great day to be a tropical fruit farmer. So that's my Ford. That's my kit. In between the two, that green one up there, you can just see some new flowers starting on it. That's called a Tommy Atkins, and that isn't actually my tree. That's my neighbor's tree. Now, I usually take care of it for them, but that neighbor just moved away. We got a new neighbor in, and he's doing a good job taking care of his property. But I'm sure some of those mangoes, it comes well across into my property over the property line. Some of them will fall on the ground, and I'll be taste testing those too. But Tommy Atkins isn't my favorite flavor of mango anyway. This is my jaboticaba tree. It's just starting to flower now. I'll do a whole video on that one of these days. And then this tree here, my fourth mature tree in this row, this is called a Kent variety mango. Okay, so the Kent is a very popular mango variety. And whereas the Kit are considered dirty, Kent actually grow really, really clean. And they have a beautiful reddish purple color that kind of fades to green and a sort of like asymmetrical, like kidney bean shape. And you will see these in the supermarket. You will see these at farmers markets. Now, my Kent tree hasn't been doing very well because, like the Ford, it also went down in Hurricane Irma. And as you see here, I cut it at just about my height. We cut it off, we stood it up, and we put this prop stick here to hold it up. And then when the tree started to grow back, shame on me, but I didn't prune it or train it properly. So what you see here is a little ring of like leaves and stuff and productive branches, then a big dead spot in the middle where the branches just grew straight up. And I should have been topping that tree to encourage lateral growth, but I just let it grow straight up to the point where we have most of our canopy up here, up above my head. That's no good. It makes it hard to spray. It makes it hard to get up there and pick the mangoes. And it also makes it real easy for birds and other critters to get my mangoes. So this season, and this tree doesn't really flower and fruit much for me either, but I'm going to take care of it. After I pick my last Kent from it this season, I'm going to take it down to about 8-foot height and retrain it into a productive tree. That covers my 4 mature mango trees on that part of the property. I have one more mature tree I want to show you. On the way, you could take a look at my Brazilian pygmy bananas. Look, there's a nice new bunch of Brazilian pygmy bananas starting to grow. Look at that bunch of bananas. Oh, I can't wait to eat those. Then here we have a mamey tree. I put that in about 4 years ago. That hasn't fruited yet. On the same day I put this mamey in, this guy is actually starting to fruit. This is a kaimito or star apple tree. It only gave me 1 fruit this year. Let me show it to you. Let's see here. It's up there somewhere. There it is. Right there, kind of dead center of the pick, you'll see like a round mass. That's the 1 piece of star apple I grew on this whole tree this year. And then this tree here. This is my buddy. This tree I love. And I wish I could tell you the variety mango it is, but I have no idea. I've had experts come out here from the Fruit and Spice Park. They cannot identify the variety. I've had guys who work their whole lives in mango groves come out, taste the fruit, look at the fruit. Nobody can identify the variety of mango that comes off this tree, and it is absolutely delicious. The fruit looks pink when it's ripe and ready to eat, and the flesh on the inside is actually yellow. So whereas that Kit I was talking about, that delicious Kit that I love, gives me like a bright orange, almost glowing orange flesh, this mango gives me a yellow flesh. And believe it or not, it tastes a little bit tart. It even has a little bit of a citrus taste to it. And let me show you the best news of all. This guy is producing a lot of fruit. Look at all those little green bumps. You see those little green bumps? Every one of those is a mango. And as I'm holding this camera here showing this to you guys, I also see a bunch of, I just saw a honeybee. There's flies. There's a fly over here. There's little insects crawling around. Oh, there's a bee right up above the camera. And they're crawling around on all these flowers, pollinating them, so that each of these female flowers can give you a beautiful mango like these little green balls you're looking at right now. And that's it for all of my mature mango trees. Those mango trees are all 30 years old or so. And that brings you to like my adolescent trees. These trees are about 7 years old. I planted them about 4 years ago. They were in their 3rd year of growth. And all 3 of them, this one, and this one, are of the Valencia Pride variety. And like all the other trees on the farm, they too are flowering. Like this right here. Beautiful mango flowers. And there's also all kinds of little insects flying around, crawling around, pollinating these flowers for us. I don't know if you could see them. I don't know if the phone picks that up. Ooh, look what I found. I just found this jujube that fell off our jujube tree. My wife is going to love this. And then look at this guy here. This little mango's been hiding out. I mean, this little, talking about mangoes, this little avocado is hiding out on my tree. That's a pretty darn late season avocado. But I'll set this in the kitchen counter and see if it wants to ripen for me. Let's go find my wife and give her this jujube. And then I'll show you some of my baby mangoes, my newest mangoes that we've planted. This is going to make her day. Noe! Noe! Look what I found. Come here. Got your shoes on? Yeah. Look at what I found underneath the jujube tree. I thought we were done with them.
Can I tell you something funny?
Huh.
I actually looked for the last one
Uh-huh.
everywhere.
You couldn't find one?
And I couldn't find one.
Well, it looks like maybe a bug ate one side of it, but you could take a bite out of the other side and tell me what you think. Yeah, right there. Let's see how it is. It should be prime ripeness going by the color.
Oh my God, it's so good.
Is it? Give me a little bite.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
This is
Oh, that is so sweet. Mmm. Well, that's your last one for the year, darling. No, actually, I shouldn't say that. There's a few baby ones growing.
Really?
Yeah. So I got to tell these people about our mangoes. So here, I found this avocado out there too. Go put that on the counter. Enjoy your jujube, darling. When I moved into this place, here's the edge. This is the edge of our avocado grove. My house is right here. Here's the edge of our grove. There was a palm tree here. I didn't like it. It was wasted space. There's room for another fruit-bearing tree here. So 2 years ago, I planted this beautiful Glen variety mango. And the reason I chose to plant a Glen is because it's my wife's favorite variety. It reminds her of the mango trees her grandmother used to grow, the mangoes that those trees used to produce back in Venezuela. Of all the mangoes she's tried here in South Florida, the Glen most resembles the mango she grew up eating. So I've planted a bunch of Glens so that my wife could enjoy them. And look at this guy. This is my 3rd season with this tree. And it is exploding this season. Look at all these flowers. Now, this guy, oh, look, yeah, he's just starting to open. Oh, I don't have my glasses. It's just starting to open. I'm just seeing some open flowers now. For the last couple of days, they were just kind of green and closed. Oh, yeah, there we go. There's some flies and stuff buzzing around. You probably can't see it on the camera up here at the top. And they're just doing their job. They're just going from flower to flower to flower, spreading pollen, pollinating those flowers, creating Glen mangoes. And my favorite thing to do with a Glen mango is to pick it, give it to my wife, and watch her eat it and see the smile on her face. Now we're back on my driveway, and in keeping with the theme, I've got another Valencia Pride mango tree right here on our corner. So see, you kind of come down the drive and make this turn and come around this way, and that's like our little parking area back there. So I've got this, what would this be, the 4th Valencia Pride tree planted. And the other thing I did with it, which I find interesting if you're a tropical fruit geek or a mango geek, is I planted it right next to this tree. You see, this guy's loaded with flowers too. This variety is called Hayden. The Valencia Pride variety was actually grown from seed. The seed it was grown from came from a Hayden. So we've actually got an evolutionary story. The lineage of the Valencia Pride is the Hayden, and I have a Hayden right next to it. The Hayden is my personal favorite mango. So where my wife loves the Glen, man, I don't know if you could hear that airplane up there, but he was just dragging a glider. As soon as the RPMs on the plane went down, he launched the glider, and I'm watching a glider just glide around. I'm standing here underneath a Valencia Pride mango tree, watching a glider just floating around in the sky, smelling mango flower. I still have the flavor of that star fruit I ate in my mouth. Oh, today it's a good day to be a tropical fruit farmer. Where was I? I think I was talking about my favorite flavor of mango, which is the Hayden. My wife likes the Glen. I like the Hayden. I tried the Hayden one time years ago before I even owned this farm. I went to a fruit stand, famous fruit stand here in Homestead, Florida called Robert is Here. And I tried my first Hayden mango and I just fell in love with it. And I'm so happy because if you look behind me here, that Hayden mango tree is loaded with flowers. And here we go, another Glen from my wife. And as you see, this guy's also producing flowers. It's still a little early for the Glens yet. The Glen flowers haven't all opened up yet. But this is another Glen, and this guy's loaded with flowers too. And now let's go look at some other varieties I have. All right, first I'm going to show you something I did that was a little bit stupid. We are deep inside my avocado grove now. See, we're surrounded by avocado trees here. But then out of nowhere, I have this one mango tree. And you see, I had an idea. There's a sickness that affects avocado trees. And what happens is a beetle bores into the tree and it carries a disease. And then the disease infects the tree. And once the tree gets sick, the disease goes down into the roots and it spreads to adjacent trees, to adjacent avocado trees. So I thought maybe if I pulled out an occasional avocado tree and stuck a mango tree in like a fire break, it would stop the disease from spreading. Turns out I was wrong. It doesn't stop the disease from spreading. And all I have now is this one mango tree, and I got like 2 or 3 more, kind of just like in the middle of nowhere, in no man's land, in the middle of this avocado grove. And it's kind of stupid to have like a one-off tree. I've got hundreds of avocado trees, look, surrounding us. And then I got this one mango tree here. And the other problem is mango trees aren't very like complementary to avocado trees. They don't really take the same kind of fertilizer and stuff like that. You have to do a lot more work on mangoes than you do on avocado. So it's not exactly a great tree to plant in the middle of an avocado grove, but I did it anyway. Here it sits. This is also a Hayden variety. The Hayden variety is native to South Florida and it grows really well. And as you can see, this guy's growing like a champ. And like every tree I'm showing you today, loaded, just loaded with flowers. I hope you could see those flowers. Now here we are, still in the avocado grove. I don't know if you could tell, but we've topped and hedged the trees. Look, you could see it's kind of like, if you've seen recent videos, this looks a lot different than it used to look a couple of weeks ago. The grove has gotten a severe haircut. We have to do that every year at the end of the year once we finish picking. But I've got another section here, and I told you earlier about a disease that affects avocado trees. Well, this whole section here got hit with that disease. And instead of replanting avocados, I said, let me plant a section of mangoes, get a little variety of mango going. And as you could see, here's another Glen. And look at it. It is doing amazing. This guy's already putting out fruit. Let's see. I showed you them little fruit on the other one, but this guy, last time I was out here, I saw actual like mangoes, like marble-sized mangoes on it. I don't know, maybe they fell off. I can't spot them right now. Anyway, this tree is already starting to fruit. So this Glen is a little ahead of its brother Glens, but it too is flowering like crazy. Then I got this guy here. He's dead. I don't know, got sick in the roots or something. So I'm gonna have to pull this mango out and put a different one. If you've got a suggested variety you think I should try, I'll give it a whirl. This here is called a lemon meringue. And I was told it does really, really good in my neighborhood, in this section of Florida. So I put this lemon meringue tree in. I just learned today it's doing what's called a, oh God, I don't know, mixed bloom or something like that. It's got flowers, but it also, the bloom is also, it's putting out flowers, but it's also putting out leaves. I don't know if I'm supposed to do something about that or not, but I'm going to just let this sucker ride. I heard the mangoes it gives are really, really good. And I could vouch for it. I mean, the people at Lara Farms who sold me this tree said it grows really well in South Florida. I put this sucker, it was about up to here. I put it in the ground a year ago. It's now taller than my head and flowering like crazy. Like I said, it does have that mixed bloom or whatever, but it's flowering like crazy. And I'm going to let it flower. and fruit. Normally, young trees, you maybe want to discourage the flowering and fruiting so it'll grow bigger, but I don't do these commercially, so I don't care if I only get a handful of fruit this year. Also, the trunk is very, very thick. I mean, this thing really thickened in a year. It's going to be able to support and hold fruit. And then these two trees here are called Doc Mai. These are, I think, Vietnamese or somewhere from Southeast Asia. And I've tried them. I like them. Not everyone likes them. It's kind of a tart tasting mango. I really like them. And the Doc Mai, this one is also starting to put out flowers. Well, I could see like 2 or 3 open ones. Geez, even as of this morning, none of these had opened. Just in the one day today, this tree's making progress. And as more of these flowers open, it'll attract more and more flies and little bees and little ants and gnats and stuff, and the pollination will take place. Then I got this guy here, which is also a Doc Mai. Oh, it is starting to flower. I was about to tell you that this tree isn't flowering because yesterday when I came out here and looked, it wasn't flowering. And I might be wrong, but I was out here this morning and I didn't even see these flowers this morning. When those guys came to visit me earlier, we came out and looked at this tree, and I'm almost positive these flowers weren't here. And this also looks a little like that mixed bloom situation. I'm getting some flowers and I'm also getting some leaves, but I don't care. This is also a Doc Mai, and I planted the Doc Mai for 2 reasons. First, I like the flavor. It's tart. It's an interesting mango flavor. But secondly, the Doc Mai is a polyembryonic variety, which means that the seed gives more than one tree. And all but one of those trees will grow to be an exact clone of the mother, which means they don't require grafting. And they will produce Doc Mai mangoes in year 3 or 4. So whatever fruit I get off of those trees, I'll plant the seeds. All but one of them will be a clone of the mother. And I'll be able to know the one that isn't, because that'll be the run of the litter. I'll discard that one, or maybe I'll put it in a pot and graft it. And I'll plant the other 3, let them grow, and I'll have Doc Mai trees. And in 3 or 4 years, they'll be giving me Doc Mai variety mangoes. If I look really excited and happy today, it's because I am. I mean, I'm looking at all these beautiful flowers on the mango trees. And look at this Monstera fruit here, this Monstera deliciosa fruit. People love that stuff. I love that stuff. That's going to be ripe in August. All these mangoes are going to be ripe in July. I'm probably going to gain 60 pounds eating all this food. Look, I got more Monstera deliciosa coming in here. Look at it all. Oh, man. It's a great day to be a tropical fruit farmer. That's about it. I got 3 or 4 other mango trees way deep in my grove, but there's nothing really unique to show you or say about them. They're copies of the other varieties I shared with you today. And they're also flowering like crazy. Here's a further view if you want to see them first 4 trees I was talking about. Look at how big they are, and look at the flowering. Look at how the kit gives out an orange flower and the Ford gives out a yellow flower. You can't really see the flowers too good on camera, I'm sure, on the Tommy and on the Kent, because they're still green, but they'll be like nice orange and yellow also. Let me turn my water on here for my bananas. Oh. It's dry season here. Got to give these guys a little drink. Then it's been real sunny and the wind's been blowing, so I got to hit my garden here, but I got to be ready to run as soon as I turn this sucker on. Ah! So we're back where we started. We're right here in front of these big mango trees. These things will be ripe in July, and I'll be selling them, and I'll be selling my avocados. I'll be selling those Monstera deliciosa I showed you. And the place I sell them is guacfarm.com. GUACFARM.com. Avocado season for us starts in June and runs through about January. We've got the mangoes, Monstera deliciosa, and Mamey in the month of August. And I sell these beautiful Sleepy Lizard t-shirts year-round. Right now, my son's at football practice, and he told me he wants to go to the gym after football practice. So I got to go inside, take a shower, get my gym stuff on, pick him up, and go work out for a little while. While I do that, you go to guacfarm.com, and I will see you on the next video.